So what I was saying is that there is no formal training or no formal setup to introduce the faculty or the students, those who have completed their masters, that how to develop a curriculum, what a curriculum is, what process is to be followed. Usually, I've seen when I go for such type of BOS or see, I see that what the faculty are doing is that okay, you have been asked to design a curriculum for some program. You will just They will just open up the website of some colleges, some NITs, IITs, or for foreign universities. They will search for their curriculum, and then they will just see wisely what they have studied or what others are doing, and just bring them together and copy and paste, right? I hope that so many of you might be doing that, because we are not very much aware of that what actually goes into when we go for curriculum design or curriculum development. So it is very important to understand, and it's not only for the new incumbents into the as the faculty members, even some senior members, senior faculty members also, they do not have as such the idea about the how the curriculum is designed or developed, and what process should be actually followed. So this is a just introductory presentation which will give you idea about what the curriculum is, and how the what are the main key elements of the curriculum, and different type of curriculum, and how to plan a curriculum or how to design a curriculum, right? Okay, so I would first like to know about what do you understand by curriculum? Any inputs from the participant?
I think curriculum is something that includes learning objectives, our content, teaching methods, and assessment methods.
Right, very right. Nidhi Goyal says it is lessons and academic content taught. Not exactly, ma'am. Actually, this is the issue that we have the idea that when we say curriculum, we mean that what is to be taught. That is the syllabus. That is not the curriculum. Curriculum is everything which we are doing in the education system. That is how you are teaching, what you are teaching, right? How you are assessing the entire series of the planned activities which bring the changes, as sir has said, mentioned that everything, whether it is the syllabus which we are teaching, the learning, teaching, learning pedagogies. Again, I would request Sandeep Kaur, please mute yourself. So it includes this is the misnomer in the teaching faculty, that we understand the curriculum as the syllabus, as the contents which is to be taught, that is the timetable or the teaching program. But no, that is not the curriculum. The curriculum is the entire ambit of the total, what is to be taught, that is your contents or your syllabus, your teaching course plan, your schedule, your academic plan, your teaching learning pedagogies, how you are going to teach, whether you are going to teach by taking the online sessions, through practicals, through case studies, through project based learning, through uh, any teaching learning pedagogy which you can employ. And also not only teaching, but how you are going to assess the students, how you are going to evaluate, what is the evaluation technique, whether it is formative assessment or it is summative assessment. You are going to assess the student by say open book, or by quiz, or by writing written exam, or by seminar, any technique. So all this under one umbrella, they that is known as your curriculum. So when we are designing the curriculum, we are not only designing the syllabus, we are also designing that how that syllabus has to be taught, how that syllabus has to be evaluated. When we talk about the curriculum part, uh, we are mainly, what is the main intention of this education system, or main intention of framing the curriculum for the different courses or for the different programs? So the main intention is nothing but the learning. मेन एम हैज टू बी द लर्निंग, जो हमारे इंडियन एजुकेशन सिस्टम में राइट नाउ टेक्स अ बैक सीट. मेन एम होता है हमारा गेटिंग अ जॉब, गेटिंग अ डिग्री, becoming an engineer, becoming a doctor, becoming a lawyer. That is the main aim. But actually the main aim should be learning. और यही फर्क है हमारे इंडियन एजुकेशन सिस्टम का, कन्वेंशनल सिस्टम का, और जो ग्लोबल एजुकेशन सिस्टम है. Abhi, I have been to Purdue University and University of Chicago, and I saw a sea change. I'll discuss throughout all these my sessions. But okay, what I was talking about is the main focus has to be learning. And if I talk about the learning, it can be formal or informal learning, that is on the job and off the job. So we divide the learning in four ways, that is on the job and off the job learning, conscious learning and unconscious learning. Okay, now I want to have your inputs for this first quadrant, on the job conscious learning. So which part of the curriculum, or how will you ensure that the students get the, or students have a conscious learning? Anybody of you?
Ma'am, it is like that whatever taught in the class, students will refer further and do the work.
Exactly. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. So that is your conscious learning is actually the syllabus. On the job, the student has come to the class, the syllabus has given to him, and whatever he is learning through that syllabus, whatever is being taught, that is the conscious on the job learning. Right, sir. Anything, any example now for unconscious on the job? So the student is in the class, that may not be the part of the syllabus, but unconsciously he is learning something. Yeah, can anybody give me some example of this?
Is it project-based learning?
A project can be, again, if it is a part of the curriculum, some portion can be on the job, but some portion of the project based learning can be unconscious also. Anything, any other input anybody has? Leadership qualities. Suman Kumari says, yeah, presentation, way to convince, discipline. Exactly. Yes, ma'am. Exactly. So when say students are in the class, or right, so they learn how to deal with their peers, how to be in discipline. When the teacher is taking the class, how can they learn from the teacher? How can they more participate? Exactly. Madam Sneha has written the discipline, the way of dealing, the way of presenting, team work, peers. That is not, that may not be the part of your syllabus, but that is unconscious learning which the student is getting. The ethical values, the moral values, the presentation, communication, presenting oneself, dealing with the situations, the teamwork, communication, interpersonal relationship, that is your on the job unconscious learning. Very right. Now coming to the next quadrant, that is off the job conscious learning. Yeah, I want your inputs from here also. Off the job, when the student is not in the classroom, he may be in the hostel, he may be in the some cultural activity or curricular activity, he may be in the campus. And the conscious, any example you can think of?
Preparing for the exams.
Preparing for the exams, as sir said, Dr. Chandrakant has written industrial visit, group projects, field work. Yes, that is your conscious, that that may not be a part of the syllabus, but an extra activities. When you go for the field work, or your uh, some task is given to them, or they're part of certain, like student groups, we have cultural groups or technical, they are the part of some technical associations, they are contributing even say to NCC, NSS, some networking. Yes, so very right, Mr. Nirbhay also, that is off the job, that may not be the part of curriculum, that is part of your learning, and that is conscious. You may have internship, you may have project works, even if you have not no internships in summer. Some students are taking some courses, some online courses, or they are going for some practical or some internships. So that is your conscious learning, okay, which may not be the part of your syllabus. Similarly, the last quadrant is your unconscious of the job learning. So unconscious of the job is again when the student is, say, in the hostel, right? Or so where if you are sharing the rooms, or even in the mess, your discipline, your respect towards each other, your interpersonal skills, which is unconscious, right? You are and nowadays the that sharing feeling of the students have reduced a lot. So why I wanted to show this slide was that when we are our student is coming to the our institute or to us, it is now not only the duty of the teachers to make him learn or educate, just to educate him, just to teach him. No, now the curriculum, the entire educational framework, especially through NEP 2020, now the role of teacher is not only for the teaching or education, but he is a facilitator, he is a transformer, he is educator, where he adds or facilitates the student to learn formally and informally. So if you are coming to the class, it's not only you are coming to the class to just cover the syllabus. You have to make your teaching learning interactive. You have to behave in such a way, or you have, because all the students look on to their teachers. So consciously or unconsciously, the student is learning from the teacher apart from the contents or the syllabus. See, now the gone are the days when the teacher was a sage on the stage, that the only the teacher was available for making the students understand the concept or for the knowledge dissemination. There is lot of knowledge now. जो हम पढ़ा रहे हैं उससे ज़्यादा knowledge the students have on their in their pockets, in the mobiles, in the internet. They have lot of contents, but the student is learning so many other things also apart from the knowledge dissemination. So when we come to the class, go to the class, please keep in mind as a faculty member that you are contributing to the students' learning in the different aspects, which is helping the students' holistic development, not only the cognitive development, that only okay, syllabus one physics covered, digital electronics covered, communication skills covered. No, we have to look on to this aspect also, right? Now coming to the specifically for the when the curriculum part, that is syllabus and the teaching learning, the first and the foremost thing is education should always be in a state of flux. Sometimes when I take sessions on NEP 2020, there are many questions coming from the faculty members that after 75 years of experience, our country is not able to come up with a very stable education policy. We are again coming up with a new education policy, right? But I say it's good because education system should not be static, because education cannot be static, because learning and the requirements at the global level, at the national level from the education is always changing. And to come up to that level, our curriculum should also change. But change should not be very fast, very frequent, that one semester or one batch is learning this curriculum, second batch is learning this curriculum. No, there should be a system which should be a proper balanced, a blend of bringing the required changes as per the requirement of society or requirement of the industry, but it should be a balanced and a stable curriculum also. We should take into account the basics of concepts of learning, teaching learning process, and also blend the newer teaching technologies, especially in technical education system. You will all agree with me, say in humanities or in some certain courses, I would say the knowledge has to be is fixed, like history or geography or political science. Major portion does not changes, it is there, and that has to be taught, right? There may be certain political thoughts or some amendments that may be changing in political system, political science or so. But in technology, especially engineering part, things change so fast. The education, the knowledge, updates itself very fast. So it becomes mandatory for us to update our curriculum to keep in pace with the newer technologies. Now, as I say, and that is why this is the main problem. We have the gap between industry and the academia, because in academia we are focusing on, okay, fundamentals, basics. We are teaching communication theory, communication system. Then in third year or see, I'm from electronics, so my examples come more from electronics and communication. You can just relate it with your domain. So what my viewpoint is, we are more focused, we keep on doing, we are, or our curriculum or syllabus is designed in such a fashion that we are catering to the concepts, fundamentals, that is good. But we also have to cater to the changes which are coming in the technologies. If we are just teaching them only the basics of neural network or some machine learning methods, the when they go to the industry, they there they have to work on the artificial intelligence problems. So what I want to say is that our curriculum, we have to have a balance between a static and a dynamic curriculum. We have to keep in view that our curriculum should cater to the laying the foundations or the improve enhancing the fundamentals of the concepts. But along with that, we have to move, keep on in track with the requirements at the global level, with the new technologies which are coming. When I'll talk about the curriculum restructuring with NEP 2020, I will talk about this point more emphatically. Right now, two another things which I want to bring to your notice is that is, uh, okay, yeah, we all know about the core curriculum elective. I won't go into detail, we are already dealing with it. But I want to focus on two things, that is hidden curriculum and null curriculum, which we usually don't talk about. Hidden curriculum is similar to the offline unconscious or the offline online unconscious learning, right? We may not put a syllabus of human ethics and values in our core curriculum, but some portion of our curriculum, that is some portion of our teaching learning environment, should take care of developing human values and ethics. No doubt, now with NEP 2020, this has become a compulsory subject for the time being, but it may change. So, may not be the respect to the constitution, may not be respect to the human life, be the part of your syllabus, but certain activities should be the part of curriculum. Like you are the student, you are um, say blood donation camp, or some green initiatives, planting the trees, or some um, um, some like some incentives taken, some groups being formed for the development of um, the community where the institute is located, adopting some school, adopting, or like when I was at NIT, we had a group of students, those who were educating these children of the labor class, because building was constructed and there were so many laborer, and the students, the children of those laborers were being taught. So that is the part of hidden curriculum which we should take care, whether you put a zero program, whether you put a can community service, yes, exactly, that's what I'm saying. So community service, blood donation camps, NCC, tree plantation, right? And then giving the seminar, some for personality development, communication, some debates, some declamations. Like we have technical groups also, we have cultural groups. So fear of stage, presenting, all these parts we are doing it, but we do not realize that actually this is the hidden curriculum, right? Another part, which is, so this is the positive aspect of adding something. Other part is the null curriculum. So the best example which I give is that you are framing, say, the contents of becoming a doctor, MBBS, and you are at the end your curriculum or your style of teaching or the practical part is not up to that level, and the students, instead of becoming a doctor, they become a just a nurses, right? Doctor with nursing skills, for their nurses are different. Similarly, if you are teaching a btech or mtech master students, so it should not be that the curriculum should not be diverting the skills or the knowledge of the student in the direction which will not make them a good engineer, but say a skilled worker in electrical department or a skilled worker in computers. So it is equally important that, okay, like example of computer science, it is equally important that a computer science btech student degree holder should have good knowledge of programming or python and all, right? But it's not that he should only have that knowledge of python or some programming. He should have the knowledge of the what is happening at the back end, what are operating system softwares whatsoever, right? Only having a python or only having the a good programmer, we have the other skillful labor. Okay, so just try to figure out that, are we including some portion in our syllabus which may lead to, or we are giving more emphasis on some portion of the syllabus which may lead to a null curriculum, right? So this thing have to be kept in mind, right? And otherwise, if I see, we all know now the academic plan of the entire education system, that is, what is the goal of the program. If you are having a btech in computer science and now you want to start a btech in artificial intelligence and machine learning, or you have already a btech in electronics and you want to start a btech in robotics or mechatronics, so what is the goal of the program? What content should be taught, what should be the sequence of the implementations, what teaching strategies or teaching learning processes. So if you are making them starting a program on robotics and you do not include some subjects or contents of electronics or mechanical or programming the robots, right, then the main goal of the program will go waste. So all this, and then resources which we always forget. आप कभी भी देखो लैब लिख देंगे, your curriculum will always consider say lab of similarly, okay, any lab of structures or mechanical or any lab of electronics also, okay, say simple communication system lab. So we'll write these are the experiments to be performed. In your syllabus it is written this only, these experiments, these marks, viva voice, this we have mentioned. But the curriculum should include what resources, which kits, which ICs, what all should be available in a lab which will cater to the communication system. Are you getting my point? When we make curriculum, when we design curriculum in knitter, we give the entire list of resources that should be available with the department to float that program. You write these practicals are to be done. So what should be brought? Whether it should be done on kits or breadboard should be there, DSOs are there, multimeters. So all what resources are to be accumulated for the successful implementation of the curriculum, right? And then last but not the least, the plan for evaluation, which we'll talk about. So these all things come together in the curriculum. And now, with the outcome-based education, with the NEP, now the curriculum not only involves the what is to be taught, how it is to be taught, but it has to be now covered the what are the outcomes also, what we are expecting from the students, what outcomes are expected by the stakeholders, which I'll be talking tomorrow when I talk about the outcome-based education. So if now I talk about how the curriculum has to be designed and implemented, so there's a particular curriculum cycle. The first and the foremost thing is the need assessment. The need assessment of the society, the need assessment of the industry, the need assessment of the parents, need assessment of any. You have to do Why, along with computer science engineering, why do we need another separate branch on artificial intelligence? Because it is global need that now the BTech or the student should have a more in-depth knowledge about AI. Why do we, along with the mechanical engineering, we need now BTech in 3D printing? Because again, it is a requirement at the industry level. So a proper need assessment should be done, that why we need to design, for not only start a program but to design the curriculum of that program. Okay, then comes the another aspect, that is the designing and developing of the curriculum. What are the employability criterias? After need assessment, when we talk about design, there comes the employability. What employability opportunities the students will get? If suppose I have a I was a BUS member of Thapar. There we started a program with computer science with psychology. So the first and the foremost question which I put is, if I have a BTech graduate in computer science and I have a BTech graduate with computer science and psychology, right? And a company comes to uh, get the for the placement, who is dealing with the robots of artificial intelligence, whom will they prefer? Yes, I want your input. So one is computer science BTech, he might be having 8 or 9 CGPA. Another is computer science with psychology as his minor or specialization, and an employer comes to place for the placement, and he has a industry for the developing artificial intelligence robot. So whom he will prefer? CS with psychology, Mr. Satish Rao. Okay, it depends upon the requirement. So if a person is dealing with the artificial intelligence and a student has a knowledge of human psychology, he will be able to contribute to the computer technology with the psychology much better as compared to a student who has the knowledge of computer science only, right? So that was seen, that what is employability opportunities which the students will be having. As I am the core member for the Himachal Pradesh Technical University also. So there we started, there was a program that we have to start mechatronics. Again, who will be the takers? If we start, okay, students will come because they want to become engineer. But is there any job opportunity in Himachal or around for mechatronics? How many of students can be absorbed or they can earn their livelihood by becoming a mechatronics engineer? So those things are also to be taken care before when we do the need assessment. Okay, that is the need assessment of all the stakeholders. Then comes the design and development, which we'll talk about successively in our these 2 days, today afternoon also, and tomorrow afternoon also, that what steps are to be taken. So I won't touch this portion, it will be covered by other speakers. Design and implementation. Last comes the evaluation and the output, which we usually oversee. That we design the curriculum, we okay develop the curriculum, we start teaching, evaluating, and that's it. I want your inputs. How many in of you or in your institute or college there is a review committee of the curriculum? Anyone? I think more than 50, 60 colleges are participating in this FDP program. Anyone can give me some feedback that you have a special review committee for the curriculum to evaluate that what has been designed, what has been planned, whether it is giving the satisfactory outputs or how it is affecting the students. Nirbhay Rana says we make module reviews after the completion of the module. That is for the contents. Okay. So some of the institutes are having it. I'm glad, because they must be, I think, going for NAC or NBA where it becomes mandatory. Yeah, you have BUS and DAC committees, I agree. Okay, from Amitya. So it's good that some of you are having it, but I've seen it is not a practice. It is not a practice for the institutes, those who are having, those who have gone for NBA and NAC. So it becomes that you have a quality improvement committee or program advisory or department advisory board also, some of them have, and so it goes. So actually it is, if it is there, it is good, and if it is not, I would suggest that you should go for a review committee. We should review uh, whether the curriculum which has been designed, whether it has been implemented properly or not, or what changes can be done time and again to make it a good, accessible curriculum. Okay, right. So now, if I say curriculum design, it is basically identifies what should be the elements of the curriculum, what should be their relationship, and what should be the administrative conditions under which that curriculum has to operate. So it's not only that curriculum in design goals are there, learning outcomes are there, but what type of administrative setup, what is that, is why I do not call education I call it as education ecosystem, the entire ecosystem starting from top to bottom, involving all stakeholders, whether administrative, whether the secretarial staff, non-teaching staff, non-technical staff, teaching staff, everyone, what type of environment is available in the institute for the proper effective implementation of the curriculum. Curriculum may be designed in a very good way. You called the faculty from experts from IIT, you call the experts from alumni, from industry, you call alumni, you call, bring so many academicians and design a curriculum, but you do not implement it properly. You do not have the structure, you do not have the good faculty members, those who are updating themselves, or you do not have the updated labs or resources, or your evaluation or assessment is very outdated, right? And you are not catering to the overall development of the students, as or the need assessment is not done. So even that well designed, well developed curriculum will be a failure, because the conducive environment and conditions required are not in place. So it becomes very important then when we say that the curriculum design should be implemented in true spirit, true letter and spirit. Okay? So when we are designing a curriculum, we are actually planning an intellectual journey for our students, which includes series of experiences that will result in them learning what we intend them to learn. So this is the crux of the thing when we talk about the implementation of curriculum design. Again, as I said, I won't go into the details because other speakers will be talking in detail about this. Okay? Yeah. What now I want to focus upon is the curriculum organization. Usually, as I said, when we design our curriculum, the outcome based, on the basis of outcome based education model or choice based education, credit based system, or now with NAP 2020 also, we take into account the various parameters which, as I said, the not only the contents but also uh, the the outcomes which are expected, the learning experiences, what are the objectives, what are the outcomes, what are the resources, and how the evaluation. All these are the part of your components. But along with that, we have to keep a track, or we have to keep in mind some more important aspects. That is, our curriculum has to be, I say, our curriculum has to be balanced, integrated, in continuation, and with a broader and wider scope. So if you use these words, uh, by words you can just trace out, okay, if I'm saying integrated, we can understand. If I say continuity, scope, or, but in terms of curriculum, we should have certain idea about these aspects. So we have, when we talk about the organization of curriculum, we have actually, one is horizontal organization, that is in one semester, right? And vertical organization. So vertical organization, we understand that when the child or the student enters into a program, how he's moving from first semester to second to third and to eighth in a degree or a diploma program. So what should be the flow of the program, what should be the flow of the knowledge, and how these subjects should be placed, right? That very well we can understand, and we do that. That if I am going to teach IoT in 7th or 6th semester, before IoT, we should have one subject, some subject of sensors and transducers. We should have some knowledge about the programming part. We should have, before sensors and transducers, we should have some knowledge about, say, digital acquisition or analog, whatsoever. So we are doing that. But now, intentionally, we should understand that how the vertical organization of the subjects are to be taken care of, and what are the main factors which affect the organization of the curriculum, which I'll talk about, and which we have continuity and sequence, right? And the other portion is horizontal organization. That is when you are designing the syllabus of one, say, semester. So you are placing 5 or 6 subjects and, say, the practicals also. So what should be the contents of each every subject which you are teaching? And along with that, if you are putting those 5 and 6 subjects, is there any correlation, is there any relation? Now, sometimes I've seen that teacher or the curriculum is designed that they put digital electronics and analog electronics in one same semester. They will say, oh, digital is something different, analog is something different, so you can teach them. No, ideally analog electronics should come before the digital, and they cannot be put, okay, before and after is still, you can debate on that, but you cannot put the same subject in the same, both the subjects in the same semester. So that is your horizontal organization, how the integration of the contents in the subject and the contents within the semester. And then what is that, we talk about the scope and the integration. So whenever you talk about the curriculum organization, we have to keep these 4 parameters which are of paramount importance to consider, that how the curriculum has to be organized. So horizontal curriculum means what is studied in one particular course and also in line with the same, like in different subjects. And vertical curriculum is from one lesson to next and from one semester to next, or for the whole program of the, yeah, I'll come to Anuragji. I'm just, when I'll come to the subdivision of the horizontal, it will make you more clear. So first thing is the scope in horizontal. So scope is actually the breadth and depth of the content. See, now some of you may be from diploma colleges and some of you may be from degree colleges. If I say teaching a subject of basic electronics or simple or physics, okay, physics I think will be common to all. Physics, and in physics, semiconductor physics. So for diploma level students also, you are teaching them a course on basic electronic physics, okay, applied physics. And degree also, you are putting a same subject. And students have already the background of physics, those who are coming after class 12th. So who will decide that up to what level or what should be the depth of the contents which is being taught to the diploma or to the degree student? Will the contents, even if simple PN junction or simple transistor, or how will you define that what content should be taught, what should be the depth of those contents, what should be the level of that content? That is actually the breadth, that is the scope. So for diploma, because we are interested, or the students are to be involved in the technical know-how of dealing with the things, so more stress should be given on the practical skill, how to deal with the if the transistor goes bad, or how to measure the values. Whereas in BTech, we will be more into, along with this skill, more into the theoretical aspect also, the mathematical also, that how we are dealing with transistor. If the problem comes, what is at the background, what aspect, electronical aspect, how the transistor has gone bad. Are you getting my point? So this is The actually it has to be decided that what should be the depth of the content or the breadth of the content of that particular part, which I see missing so many places. That basic electronics or digital electronics, the diploma course is also same contents, degree course is also same contents, right? So this is not clear, so we have to take care. So I'm not going to this detail, otherwise when we say the learning of the student, three type of learnings: cognitive, psychomotor, and affective. Cognitive is related more to your the understanding or the knowledge. Mr. Rajesh Mishra, you can unmute if you have some question. Okay, I think by mistake.
I'll no problem. No question.
Okay, so yeah, cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. So cognitive is more related to the mental abilities, capabilities of the student. Psychomotor is more related to the skill part, right? And affective is more related to your attitude and the aptitude. So the balance of these three learnings will define the scope. So if you are dealing with a technical, the polytechnic student, more emphasis should be on the psychomotor learning. If you are dealing with a degree student, more emphasis will should be on cognitive learning, right? Affective is a balance of this. So the again, what contents, what lessons, till how much level mathematical is to be given more emphasis, or the practical portion has to be dealt with, that is taken care in the, or that should be taken care actually while designing the contents of the subject, which shows the scope, which actually defines the scope of the subject, right? So in every semester, when we say horizontal, means what subject we are teaching, which will lead to another vertical integration, vertical movement. So those, what are the, if you are putting units or 6 units in one subject, then how the knowledge has been updated, what is the level, what is the depth, what is the breadth, that has to be taken care in the every subject. Okay, next comes the integration. So as the name suggests, the contents within the subject and within the semester should somehow be integrated. Within the subject, it makes sense, right? But within, like if you are teaching a subject on maths, physics, uh, is in first semester and teaching some basic course of electronics and some workshop, जो usually यही होता है. So some way or other, if they are not interrelated, but they are adding to their knowledge, right? So a sense of the integration should be there when we are talking about the horizontal curriculum. So that is, if you are placing 5 or 6 subjects in one semester, first of all, they should be not dependent on each other. As I said कि digital और electronics एक साथ रख दो, या आप material science और chemistry एक साथ रख दो, no. But somewhere or other they may be addendum to each other but not complementing to each other, right? And sometimes in the beginning, yes, some courses which are totally in isolation have to be put because they may be a precursor or prerequisite to the other courses, but usually it should be avoided. So these two aspects talk about the scope and the integration in the horizontal organization of the curriculum. When we talk about the vertical organization, obviously the sequence. See, as I said, we are doing it, we are part of it, but to just give you a structured knowledge about that how we design the curriculum. So a hierarchical manner, content should be there in a very hierarchical basic hierarchical method based on the logics, right? How again, based on the logics, which will actually help in the enhancing the cognitive capabilities of the psychomotor abilities of the students. So the sequence has to be maintained. And if I talk about the principle for the sequence, the learning should also be like this: from simple to complex, from concrete to abstract, something which a student already knows to something which is unknown. So from known to unknown, from simple to complex, from some whole part to part learning. If the entire uh, information is there, some part of that, again, it should follow. Prerequisite learning, that is, as I said, proper vertical integration should be there. If we want to teach a student the satellite communication, obviously the student should have some knowledge about the communication theory and the communication system, right? And obviously the chronological learning. So this is the principle for keeping the sequence. Okay, and I won't go into details, but when we talk about the learning also, see, we have the learning has main four aspects. First thing is learning of facts and concepts. How, what are the basic facts and concepts? Then you convert them into the principles or theorems, right? That knowledge is, that is inquiry related sequence. Then comes the learning through experience, or then applied knowledge. Okay, I won't go into much detail, it will move in different direction. Then it is your continuity, that is self-explanatory, that the sometimes, you know, some teachers say, okay, say subject we have to put in sixth semester, so they will say, okay, already they have learned in second semester, why to repeat it? Then not the entire subject, but some portion of the curriculum. But it is always useful that uh, around 10% of the contents, if it is required at that level, it can be repeated also. Because after 2 years or 2.5 years, sometimes the students do not have that back, foundation. So some portion can be, some crucial concepts and skills must be repeated. So main thing is continuity should be there. Okay, so as I said, for continuity and sequence should be taken care of the designing the curriculum for a balanced curriculum. So when I say balanced, it does not means कि उसमें कितने contents हैं, कितने subjects हैं, कितना theory है, इतने practical हैं, इतने, no. It should have the balanced curriculum, which should move in the direction for developing such a curriculum so that the overall development of the students' capability takes place. As I said, now we do not talk about only the knowledge. See, we have three parts in education: knowledge, skill, and attitude. So now the curriculum should not only be relevant to the knowledge part, dissemination. It should be balanced to give them the skill also. It should be balanced to give them the attitude also, to develop that attitude. And now with NAP, we used to call it as earlier knowledge, skill, and then attitude. Now with NAP, we have attitude in the beginning, then the skill, and then the knowledge. That is why we have to modify our curriculum. I'll talk about this when I talk about NAP. So the curriculum has to be balanced, which will lead to the overall growth of a student: personal, professional, intellectual, social growth. We do not want a student who may have a CGPA of 8 or 9, but he does not have any social ethics or norms to deal with his peers. He goes for a job and there he fights, no interpersonal skills. His degree is of no use. He has a degree of 8 or 9 CGPA, but he is not a good communicator. He's not able to present his views or present his thoughts. A teacher, a student may have a good MTech PhD degree, but he's not able to deliver in the class. So that teacher is of no use, right? So a balanced curriculum means not only in terms of the contents, in terms of the, as again, I would repeat, the conscious and the unconscious learning which the student gains during the 4-year stay or 3-year stay in your college, right? So proper, it should be there, dealing with the this one. Okay, so now I'll come to the three basic type of curriculums. I just want to lay a foundation for this, because when I'll be talking about the OB tomorrow, we may require this information. So main curriculums are subject centered curriculums, then we have learner centered curriculum, and then the third one is problem centered designs. So when we say the subject centered, they are the most conventional and the oldest type of curriculum, where the entire curriculum or the syllabus is based on the contents, what is to be taught. Totally contents based. That is the textbook treatment. And the teacher is basically an enterprise, or we call it small medium enterprise, who take care of everything. What is to be taught, how it is to be taught, each and everything has to be subject oriented. It has certain strengths that you have the contents. The need analysis is better, that if I say the only subject content is okay, short 1 year, when we say the PG diplomas, or some training programs, 6 months training program on say Java, okay, or 6 months program on say now Python, or 6 month program on 3D. So that type of curriculum is totally related to the that particular essential knowledge. So it is strength because the need analysis, if we talk about the requirement in the society, it will earn them livelihood. So it is good to learn and good to understand. But again, the weakness will be that we are not taking care of the overall development of the student. We are just put them, the students are a passive learners, that okay, the contents are delivered and the student is listening and just appearing for the exams. So as I said, some specific courses can be, subject oriented curriculum can be designed, but a general curriculum for general masters or graduate or UG program, this should not be uh, designed. Okay, so in this, like subject centered, we have, as I said, discipline specific. Okay, so again totally discipline specific. Like suppose especially if I say for the law students, they have to go for this, because if I say the law student has to be taught the company law or the taxes, then it has to be taken care that the contents are discipline specific, more focused on the areas which the student has to know, right? Or so some subjects actually require the discipline specific curriculum. So for those subjects it is advantageous over the uh, other type of curriculum design, which is broad field design, right? Like sociology, social studies, economics, political science, where there may not be a very strict or stringent um, food or thoughts or ideas or understanding. So those type of subjects may require certain uh, broad field design, which we call, where the proper, but in those cases the integration of the contents has to be taken care of very nicely, so that you fit in or chip in the contents properly. Okay. Okay, I won't talk about this correlation process design. Then we have the learner centered design. So, in our conventional system, or learner centered or student centered design, we used to call it. Earlier in our conventional system, this was the main curriculum designs which was done. That is totally student centered. Okay, what the student uh, like right now also when we talk about OBE, we talk about that the curriculum should be student centered. What the student wants to learn, how the student wants to learn, right? What type of environment we have to uh, give to the students so that they understand, or the curriculum caters to their need or to their requirement. So that is totally student centered. Okay, and then it is experience centered. So experience is your project based learning, or the experiential learning. So you have to design a curriculum by which the students learn by learning, like flipped learning. Nowadays we have the idea of flipped learning. See, in convention, can anybody give me the example of or understand what the flipped learning is? So right now our conventional system is the classroom. We in classroom we first teach our students the concepts, the fundamentals, basics, and then we also tell them to how apply those facts. And then we give them the for their homework or something to be done to design or to have a project where that basic knowledge can be used for the application. Okay, but in flipped learning, it is the reverse order. You give the students a project before teaching them the fundamentals. Let them see how to develop this project, what is required to understand this project, what knowledge, what fundamentals, what basics are required to understand this project, right? So then the student can come up with the problem and those problems can be addressed in the class. Yeah, as sir is saying, case studies. Instead of teaching them the different aspects of leadership, okay, give them a case study of say Tata, Birla, whosoever, and then let the students understand. Okay, if this is a case study, then which leadership aspect this case study is related to, or how it is helping the others or helping the leaders. So that is experience centered designing. In NLP, we are playing much focus on this project based learning or experiential based learning. Take them to the field work to an industry. There they will see that what are the requirements for the assembly line, for the quality or for the maintenance, quality control, everything. Okay, so this type of uh, actually this type of curriculum is the need of the hour to make students learn and understand very actively, and also to personalize type of contents can be designed. Though I agree, in our country it becomes very difficult for such that, but okay, that is a separate issue, right? Then we have humanistic design or we have radical design. um, Again, I won't talk about this. This will open a Pandora box. So last one is your humanistic design, that is which emphasize on again empowering, because all these are related to the student centric learning or the learner centered design. What the learner wants to, how the learner wants to understand, whether he wants to understand through the experiments or he wants to understand, or what type of flexibility he wants to have, like choice based system. Okay, so all these things are your humanistic design. Credit based, right? NAP is now blend of choice based and the credit based design. What the student wants to learn, what in what trajectory he wants to design for his own learning. So that is your humanistic design. And the last one is your problem centered design. So any curriculum which, any subject which requires totally psychomotor skills or the problem based, some life situation designs, mainly this may be mainly in the humanities part, right, or the management part, that okay, case studies are given or role plays, through role plays they have been taught. So that is your life situation designs. That is okay, you have this the uh, the problems are given to the students and the students learn from their experiences, learn from the present society problem. So like project, if you give, the best example is the project related to the society. Any student can take a problem. If your college or institute is located in a say agrarian setup, so if a student is doing a project of designing any app for the farmers, for their for facilitating them for their agriculture demands, so that will be your life situation design curriculum. Okay, then you have reconstruction designs. Again it is more into the societal requirement or political or economic. So basically it is the problem centered design, which may not be relevant to our engineering or technical at some level, but this can happen. Okay, So this is the I would like to finish it off by setting up just that what should be, how the curriculum should be designed. So a proper design committee should be there. They should have brainstorming session, and that committee should include all the stakeholders, that may be your representatives from academia, obviously representative from industry, representative from alumni, okay, present faculty, present students, all should be there while doing the brainstorming to come up with the curriculum design. And revision should be there, right? So basically, when we say the curriculum development process, it includes design, development, implementation, and this we all do, right? But this we usually do it lightly, or we don't do it at all. That is monitoring, evaluating, and reviewing. So if this cycle is complete, it will lead to a continuous quality, because whatever you have designed, whether it is properly implemented or not, or you are monitoring it or not, if it is implemented, are you evaluating the things and reviewing and bridging the gap? So I will stop here, because the design, development, implementation, all these will be taken care by other speakers.